and this is the breaking news Wahala segment. And today on Q Talk, there's been a video that has been going viral about a TV breakfast show called TVC, Your View on TVC, where they were discussing the topic that is it time to scrap the LGBT, the anti-same-sex law in Nigeria, because a lot of men these days are now marrying women, a lot of gay men are marrying straight women, and it's becoming like an opera. They were debating it on the TV, and different callers called, some were for, some were against. So because of this ongoing debate, it has caused like an opera in the country. People are debating it. Because of this now, we are going to have our own sort of debate or our own talk on it, and it's going to be in a three-phase segment. One, we're going to talk about the laws, which is today. We're talking about the laws in Nigeria, the same-sex law, the origin. We want to start with the origin first. Then we're going to have a second episode, which is going to talk about straight men marrying, gay men or gay women marrying straight men or straight women. Is this just a Nigerian thing, or is it a worldwide thing? We'll talk about the pros and the cons, and then we're going to have the third segment, which is going to be about the just the society moving forward. How can we all settle this, or how can everything be settled? You guys should just check out the video. Then before we come back, just check out some of the video, the clips, and you guys should also check out, we're going to play a video of how the anti-same-sex law started, the timeline of how the bill was passed. So check that out. Check this out.
Let me take this call from Dennis. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Sorry for calling today. I've tried calling yesterday concerning the gay issue. I'm in the same situation. That's why I'm calling you today. I don't know how to reach you offline because I actually got married 2017. I met my husband in church. I never knew what he said. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I met him in church. I never knew he was a gay. So 3 years after our marriage, I find out he's a gay. And I confronted him at first. And he promised to change. I never knew he was just playing me around. So after like 2 weeks, I asked him again. He said we're going to see a pastor or a counselor. And he said if I ever mention that thing in this house again, that he will deal with me. So that's how I've been battling with him over a year now. I've evolved. I called so many counselors. They tell, well, the only thing they are telling me is I have to take my decision. And I already have 2 kids. Now, I have involved his family, my family. I left the house 2 weeks ago to my brother's place. At Murayo, I got there. They don't force me to come back again. Not to go and work on it. But what is it working now?
Honestly, our heart breaks, Janet. I mean, I don't know what to say at this point, but I can't say I understand what you're feeling, but the truth is that we know that a lot of people are going through exactly what you're going through. And that's why we started the conversation yesterday, and we're going to continue it. So thank you for sharing your story with us. We appreciate you calling, and we'll definitely try to reach out to you when we do expatiate on this story. As I said, for those who didn't watch the story yesterday, we're talking about people who are finding out in marriage that their spouses are either homosexuals or lesbians, and that's a problem. So it's a conversation we're going to continue having, but not today. Thank you very much, Zenith, again for sharing your story.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Today, the gay community in Nigeria seems to be growing, and people within this community are getting bolder, which on one hand is their right. The other hand, however, or the other issue is many marriages are crumbling because people are realizing that they are marrying people who are from the gay communities. So you meet a man, you fall in love with him, both of you agree to get married, and then at some point you find out he's gay or he has a gay partner and he's actively gay. And he's getting married either for society, so that they don't, to mask his activities, or just to fulfill all righteousness. So the question, therefore, is, if these people exist within our community, should the laws against their sexual preferences be stiffer, Or should we accept that they are part of our lives and begin to see how we can live with them peaceably? What are your thoughts on this? You can call us on the numbers on your screen. I think there's 081-270-53687, 091-390-76948. You can also send us a message on YouTube and on Facebook. Let's hear your thoughts, because I don't want to, we're not here to condemn. Let's be very clear, because we're not here to condemn. We're here to see how this is affecting homes, how this is affecting proper marriages, and why we have all been so hush-hush about it when people's homes are breaking up because of this act. Please, would like to hear your thoughts on this. Mara, let me start with you.
Yes, so I think the topic of conversation today is really how the secrecy of the situation, how it affects homes, as you said. So one of the things that has brought this to the fore is we now know of people. I mean, you can now know of someone that you can point to or have had conversations about with people who will say to you, I just found out that my husband is with a man.
So now that we are back, my name is Marvelous Achafu Kelechi, as usual, and I have Chimerezi Henry Ahunaya, who always does this with us. Welcome, Chimerezi. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Mr. Achel, for reporting from our Toronto studio. Toronto is fine. The weather is a little bit sunny and cold.
I know say you must put down on there, so they will not say you are reporting from Sambisa or Niger Republic. So moving on into the topic. Now, January 13, 2014 was when the anti-LGBTQI bill was signed, the anti-same-sex law rather, was signed into the law, and it banned people getting into marriages, same-sex marriages, people even practicing the act, same-sex act. You get up to 14 years in prison. You can't open a gay club. You can't open a gay rights movement. You cannot be found in a gay gathering. You get up to like 14 years in prison. Like the video we played there, I will tell you about everything that has to do with the anti-same-sex law. Now we're now going into the law. Now the law was passed by a senator in Edo State, Senator, what's his name again? Domingo Obende from Edo North Central. And he said that the thing was to curb the African, it was not African, so it was not African, it was anti-African, and it was just to promote our culture, that we should not import the morals of the Western world.
Sodomy was already punishable under Nigerian law, but the passing of the Same-Sex Marriage and Prohibition Bill of 2013 now opens a floodgate for a broader crackdown on the homosexual community. It bans gay marriage and same-sex amorous relationships. It prescribes penalties of up to 14 years in prison. Officials say it's what society wants. More than 90% of Nigerians are opposed to same-sex marriage, so the law is in line with our cultural and religious beliefs as a people. I think that this law is made for the people. The law warns that anyone who registers, operates, or participates in gay clubs, societies, or organizations, or who directly or indirectly lets it be known they are in a same-sex relationship will be breaking the law. NGOs offering advice on medical or human rights issues, and even homeowners with tenants perceived to be gay may now find themselves on the wrong side of the law.
There can't be two guys living together in same roof and everybody knows that they are gay. No, this country is not for them. They better go to another place.
Amnesty International has warned of catastrophic consequences for the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community. Nigeria is not the only African country adopting anti-gay legislation. Malawi and Uganda did something similar and came under the spotlight when Western donors threatened to cut much-needed aid. But Nigeria, which mostly depends on its oil money, is very unlikely to feel pressurized by such threats. Adoria Chumba, Lagos.
So just moving on into this, Chimerezi, you've seen some of these videos, you've seen some of this. What do you have to say about it? What do you have to say generally?
First and foremost, I feel like for most of us who feel that gay rights, gay movements are Western movements or Western right, we need to go back to history. We need to first realize that LGBTQ rights and movement are human rights and movement. It's not a matter of West, religion, or culture. It's a matter of human freedom. Freedom of acceptance, freedom to love, freedom to practice what you believe in, freedom to indulge in sexual fantasies that you deem preference to you. So this is where we need to start from. When we are hiding under this is not African, this is not our culture, it is better that if they want to come out, let them come out with their full chest and say, we are against homosexuals, we don't like them, we want to pass a law against them. But hiding under this is not our culture. If you look back to the culture, which though I went back to look on Google and I've discovered that the government has finally removed some of the incriminating evidence about the homosexuality culture in Africa. But still, most of us who know, we know that there were some Ezes, there were some kings, there were some chief priests, there were some kings, like I said before, who had encounter with both women and men, and those were African monarchs back then. They were even male prostitutes back then. So this is still part of our culture. Even looking into it, we see that our culture, when you go back to culture in some part of the west of Nigeria, you will notice we have cultures in Igbo land where a man marries a woman, the woman is unable to bear a child, and her husband dies, that woman can go ahead and marry another woman in the name of her former husband, and then she will perform the marital right for that woman, which is a woman-to-woman marriage, which is what we call lesbianism now. And then she can then get a man to impregnate that woman, the wife she has married, to bear sons for her late deceased husband. So we have cultures that point to homosexuality. I feel the first thing first is that we need to look at the laws. We need to stop hiding under the demands of this is not our culture, because we have so many cultures that point to homosexuality, which is one I have just given out to. We need to go back to look at the dangers that this law is doing to most people in Nigeria. That is it for me, Mr. Achafo.
So for me, I would just like to add this. President Jonathan signed the law in 13th of January 2014. And on June 6th, the law went to the Bluebell. So he said that the law needs to. Let me see what he said. He said, when it comes to equality, we must all have the same rights as Nigerian citizens. There is need for Nigeria to appropriately revisit the law in the rights of deepening debates for all Nigerians and other citizens of the world to be treated equally and without discrimination, and with the clear knowledge that the issue of sexual orientation is still evolving. Now, this was President Jonathan, the same man, calling for the law to be visited and calling for the thing as a right, as a human right, that needs an issue that needs to be addressed, and Nigeria needs to have equal rights. Now, I'm happy that Mr. President, former President Goodluck Jonathan has become a repentant homophobic man, or a repentant homophobe, as we say. He has become a repentant homophobe. We are happy that he's no longer a homophobic man. But this is not.
To be honest, I really don't think President Jonathan was homophobic. I think the people who were in power with him.
He signed it into law.
Yes, he signed it. Yes, the president. I'm coming.
He's homophobic. As long as your signature is there, you are homophobic. I would not make excuses for him. And this is not enough, as far as I'm concerned. He was homophobic. Although I would not call I would call a spade a spade. It was a very, for your signature to be into there, you could have sat and said, no, I don't believe in this law. Why should they be criminalized? And you stand your ground. Or you are homophobic as long as.
But we should also recognize that there were powers who made him sign what he signed.
He was the president. The buck stopped at his table. If he had not signed it, it would not have come into law. This was not the first time they were trying to.
We knew that President Goodluck Jonathan was only a camouflage of the presidency. We know they were undergrounds.
He was a
But
president.
let's
not make
go.
excuses. I'm not going to make
I'm not
excuses
making excuses, but you're not allowing me to say my own point. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. I'm only saying that when we say,
okay.
I'm only saying, you made a statement that triggered me to say something. I was saying, I personally don't think the then President Goodluck Jonathan was homophobic, because we didn't see any other thing that relates to homophobia until then this bill was brought to the Senate and he then signed it. I personally feel from the situation that surrounded him, he was a camouflage, and we could see even in his tenure that there were so many things. There were Boko Haram insurgency. The country was not fully in the power of the then president. There were powers behind him that forced him to sign this law to be. That is my own point. You can carry on.
Okay, thank you very much for clarifying that. Like I said earlier, I do not believe that anyone can be forced to do anything. The buck stops, especially if anyone can be forced. Yes, people can be forced. Let me correct that people can be forced, but not the number one citizen of Nigeria. As of that time, if you had said no, I would not have sent to this bill. It would not have been passed. The bill would have been pending. There were 1,000,001 excuses you could have used. You could have said that the process was speedy. Like, where was the town hall meeting? Because before you pass the bill, there has to be a public hearing. You say, well, was there a public hearing? Did the LGBTQI community members come there? Were they represented? You could have given up any excuse that, no, I want to know that the bill doesn't, it just looks straightforward. But for some reason, you passed it to assent. Even people said that you were the one who spearheaded the bill, President Jonathan, because of the rift he had with President Obama as of then, because we know it was obvious that they were not in good terms. Now you're passing the bill and you've become a repentant homophobe. In my own opinion, you've repented from having homophobia in LGBTQI as human rights. That is not enough. Because whether you like it or not, someone else needs to clean up this mess that you've kept, that is lingering, that has created a vacuum where police officers are harassing LGBTQI members, where religious organizations are harassing LGBTQI members, where even people believe that people that are LGBTQI, people who are gay, people who are lesbian, people who are bisexual, do not deserve health care, they do not deserve housing, rather. They do not even deserve to be part of the community. Someone needs to clean up that mess, whether you like it or not. This law has provided that vacuum for all these homophobic elements, for all these anti-human elements, as I will call them. I don't want to use the word homophobic, anti-human elements, to come in and make that, to take advantage of this law. And this law needs to be repealed. And trying to repeal a law takes a long process in Nigeria. It takes a very, very long process. And whether I like it or not, he caused it. Now, for me, I feel like this law now, we all know, it's obvious to everyone that the expiry date of this law is now. Like what he said Nigerians might at the appropriate time revisit the law, and the appropriate time is now. It's now time for us to throw into these laws into the dustbin of history. And it's just the truth. What we want to know now is that, okay, there's a committee being set up by the Senate, by the National Assembly, that they want to revisit this law and change them back. I know that legalizing it is something that is a big step. It's going to be a big step, whether we like it or not. It's going to be a big pill to swallow for any government official. But you can start by decriminalizing the law, by making sure that law does not exist anymore. You can start by making it neutral. Like, okay, the laws are like the way the Israelites and the Israelis did it. Okay, fine. You cannot get married in Nigeria as an LGBTQI member, but you can marry abroad. And if you come to Nigeria, it is recognized, and same-sex union are recognized. But you can't just get married. That could be a good way to start. I know legalizing it is going to be a huge pill to swallow. For one, I understand. Nigeria is not yet mentally mature for that, whether we like it or not, because the law is not a silver bullet. We can pass these laws. We have seen in other countries that the law is not a silver bullet. If countries that have passed these laws, they still high rates of homophobia there. They are still killing LGBTQI members. They are still murdering them in cold blood. They are still pouring acids on their face. They are still doing all sorts of inhumane activities on them. So the law is not going to be a silver bullet, but it starts with us making a step. And the first step is removing that laws. Because whether we like it or not, ketos are operating under that laws. State actors are operating under that laws. Homophobic religious organizations are operating under that laws. And the laws need to be thrown into the dustbin of history, whether we like it or not. These laws was even one of the reasons why homophobia now went 10 steps higher. 10 steps higher. This was one of the reasons. Chimezo, would you like to add something before we just call it a wrap? I'm telling everybody, this is going to be a developing conversation we're going to have. We're going to talk about the laws which we have started now. We're going to talk about homosexuality in Africa. We're also going to talk about the marrying part, why queer men are marrying? Is it only normal? Is it everywhere? Is it only in Africa here? Or is it only in Nigeria? Or is it a worldwide phenomenon? So, Chimeze, just have your take on this before we now call it a wrap.
You've said everything that anyone could say concerning the law. We just have to take the necessary step to change that law, because at the end of the whole day, that law does more harm than good to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It has not just only stained the country's name, it has increased crime rates, it has made people do inhumane things. We've seen the true nature of the common man in Nigeria and his thoughts towards homosexuality. At least we know what the common man thinks about homosexuals.
Sorry, let me just kill it. I think that's what they is. Even when they did the survey, I remember they did a survey. I think it was BCLME also that did that survey, and only 30% of these people that did the survey said LGBTQI members deserved clothing, shelter, and healthcare, and that's very terrible. That's very terrible. You remember the conversation we were having, and they were saying,
yes.
"Oh, you with that woman," and the woman was saying, "Oh, HIV, gay people, they are filled with HIV,
yes.
They are filled with this, they are filled with that." The reason why they are filled with that is not because they are the ones that have it the most. It's because homophobia is still much in Nigeria, and a gay man cannot have the boldness to go for healthcare.
We don't have access to healthcare. We don't have access to basic human amenities.
Yeah, I shared the story of a particular person that went, that had an award, and the nurse was refusing to treat him because she said it's against her religion. She cannot treat him because she knows the man is gay. For him to obviously have an award, is gay, and this and that. And it was something that was very, very back and forth. Someone that needed urgent healthcare that could lead to cancer, help the lives of even other people. But she said, no, I will not treat you. And that's the same way it is. A lot of people will say, it's better, let me not come to the hospital so I will not be stigmatized. So the reason why they're having this high rate of HIV is because we have failed to make them, our homophobic laws and our homophobic nature and our homophobic Nigerian system has made them not to be able to access this healthcare. Just sorry, Chimeze, I just had to add that because when you said that, it reminded me of that point. Please go on.
Yeah, so it really has, the law has really shown us, it's become an eye-opener to what the common man thinks about a homosexual. It shows us the nature of Nigerians. It shows us the nature, the true nature of the religious organization in Nigeria. It shows us, and it has really, really been an eye-opener to show us that the church itself is not there for humanity. The church is there is only beneficial for when it is beneficial for itself, the profit they get from the government. So it's been an eye-opener. It's done good, it's done harm. It's now for us to go back and do what is necessary to change this law, because at the end of the whole day, we see a high rate in HIV, like Marvelous has said. We see a high rate in poverty. We see a high rate in crime. We see a high rate in human violation. We see a high rate of all this human abuse. It's better we change it, to change the history of Nigeria, to have a better generation, to not just have a better generation, but to teach the children, the next generation, how to treat human beings, irrespective of what they think, what they do, or who they are, respectfully. That is the good way to start from. That's all I have to say.
You couldn't have said it better. That was the best. I think that is the best way to wrap up the show. You really hit the point. High rate of violation, high rate of HIV, high rate of even drug abuse. People that take drugs just to get away. High rate of fake marriage or forced marriages, or people marrying who they don't love just to fit in society. We're going to get there. Yeah, we're going to get there. Thank you very much. High rate of suicide, and it must stop. That's why I want to start from the basis of the law. This is a conversation that we know that we are still going to revisit in the future. Something else will prompt it up, and we're still going to keep insisting on it. That law needs to be changed. They need to throw away that law into the dustbin of history, because it does not hold any water. It's doing more harm than good. Doing a lot of harm and no good. Doing a lot of harm and no good.
The only good that law has done is to just show us how inhuman human beings are. That is the only good side.
Thank you very much.
So at least we know those who are with us and those who are not with us. So sorry, before we wrap up, if you're watching, please comment what your thoughts are. Tell us what your opinion on this matter is. Make sure you use the comment section. Let us talk about this as Nigerians. Tell us if you would like to have a live conversation where you guys can come on, talk about it, call in, send messages. Let us know what you feel, because we are in between if we should do a pre-recorded section or we should have a live section. Tell us if you want a pre-recorded section or a live section in the comment section.
Thank you very much. And that's been our offering on Q Talk. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please like our videos. Share them. Please share them. And also comment on our videos, please. And till next episode. We love you guys. You know we are always here for you. Till next episode. See you guys later. Peace out.